Okay, so in this video, I'm going to walk you through the initial kind of layout and power electrical schematic design for this BMS project, and specifically focusing on a pressurization unit. So let's get into it. So as you can see, I'm copying a block and I'm lining it up with existing blocks within the schematic, just so it's nicely aligned and looks easy on the eye. So found the center point there, and I'm just going to select them again and drag them over. M for move, that's the shortcut I've got. You can see I'm sort of typing things here. I've got a key logger, and now I'm just putting it onto the next page. And now it's just a matter of really modifying this block to then reflect, like these are all the terminals, the screw terminals where cables connect into the pressurization unit, all these circular bits. Might be obvious to some people, but now, I'm just going to modify that to reflect what I'm reading inside the manual. So I'm looking at like the tech manual with the electrical connection points whilst I'm doing the designs here, and then obviously just working out, I'm pretty certain it needs an earth point, live and neutral. And now what are the other ingoing, outgoing cables? So that's what I'm going to do now. So we've got some relay outputs, and I think that's really all that's going on this pressurization unit. We've got fault alarms. I think that's pretty much it. We got two digital outputs, so two relay outputs, and then actually I think what you can do is you can configure them. There's lots of different options, so you can configure them to react based on how you set it up. So customizable relay outputs, and I can't remember what I set them to. One was obviously a fault output, that's pretty common. The other one I can't remember, but I'm sure we'll find out in a second. But you can see here, common, so that's your common in, and then we've got our normally open and we got our normally closed outputs. Now it might well be that we keep both those normally open, normally closed options there, but if we know that we're specifically only using the normally open or just the normally closed, then that might just be the one terminal that's left in on the design. And then if the person on site, if we've designed it to use the normally open, but then the commissioning engineer on site is like, no, actually it needs to be wired into the normally closed, just based on the rest of the system and how that relay's triggering. Then they might red pen it on site and just change it, from rewire it, and then just change the label from normally open to normally closed, or vice versa. And what you can see I'm doing here, this is a little tip here, let's bring it back. When you're using CAD, you can use the mouse in different ways. So if I drag to the top, from the top left to the bottom right, and I'm trying to pick up this block here, it doesn't pick it up, or this line, sorry, it doesn't pick it up unless I cover the whole line. Let's just bring it back. So like top, I'm not going across the whole line here, and it's not selecting it. So I have to go over the whole bit, as you saw there, over the whole thing, whatever it is, to pick it up. Now, if you go from bottom right to top left, as you saw me do here, just a second ago, it picks it up. Again, I'm doing from top left to top right, picks it up. So yeah, hopefully you get my point. I'm obviously trying to talk through as this recording's going. But yeah, something to be aware of when you're designing stuff for the first time. Top left to bottom right, drag, picks things up differently from bottom right to top left, drag. So that's the first relay done. Now I'm just duplicating that and doing the same thing for the second relay output. And I'm just getting the labeling set up as well. So DO1, digital output, and I'm naming it System 1, not sure why. I think later on I rename it, but we'll see. So digital output 1, System 1, that's done. And then we're going to do the same thing, copy and paste, and DO2. System 2. General, okay. So yeah, I think what's happening, DO2 is just like a general fault alarm. If anything goes into fault, this will trigger, close the relay, and then we can pick up that signal and do something with that signal. There's going to be another video in the future, so you should definitely subscribe, where we're going to get into the control side of this pressurization unit. And I'm doing other videos as well in this area. So we're kind of focusing initially with like the layouts and the power, and then in the future we're going to get into the controls and how that's designed. So there'll be another video specifically for that. Okay, so a bit more labeling. And like if you're an engineer, a business owner, and you're looking to advance your career in controls, automation, BMS, or perhaps take all of the controls on yourself, so you're not relying on specialist contractors, you're not having to say no to opportunities and projects, because they're usually like high value projects. If you're looking to get help with taking on those projects and getting some assistance in terms of understanding how to deliver them, and developing your design skills, your general overall understanding of controls and BMS, then there's some links in the description that might be worth checking out. We might be able to help you. But yeah, this is pretty much coming to the end of it now. You can just see I'm doing the main feeds into that pressurization unit. The live and the neutral. MCB, I think this here is a mistake, that will be removed a bit later. We've got our internal terminal blocks. This line here on the schematic, that is indicating everything inside the panel is north of this line, and everything south is outside of the panel in the field. So as you can see, this pressurization unit here is obviously outside in the field. These terminals and this MCB are inside the control panel. Yeah, so that was pretty much it. I hope that was helpful.